Alright, bruh fans, we are here. Season 3, Episode 4, entitled Control. 7 out of 10. Thought it was a pretty decent episode. Before going further, remember I said I would do the first 5 or so episodes of Bruh Season 3. And based on the number of views as well as ad revenue, that would determine whether or not I would continue with my reviews for the season. Episodes 1 through 3 didn't get a lot of views, so I'm just kind of putting this out here as a word of caution. If you want me to keep reviewing the show, you gotta watch the videos. Even if you don't like Bruh, at least share the content around, because the more views, the more, YouTube pushes the video into the algorithm, and from there, that will really encourage me to continue reviewing the show. Keep in mind, I will still watch the show because I want to know what's going to happen. But, if numbers aren't there, I might have to drop it. So, this week and next week are crucial. But, regardless, I watched the episode, 3:45 or 4 o'clock this morning. Just another example as to why I get it. I get why streaming platforms generally don't follow the Netflix model in terms of all of their shows by releasing half or full seasons, because if somebody got a BET Plus subscription for like a week and binged all the shows they wanted to watch, they would cancel and you wouldn't be able to hold that subscriber. But one episode a week has people coming back. Since Bruh is a 30-minute comedy, I think maybe at least 2 episodes a week should work, but that's just my opinion. But couple things I wanted to talk about. First scene, we are in the restaurant picking up where we left off. Lydia had just left. Miss Alice comes out of the back to see how the conversation went. John pretty much lets her know no slice, no dice. She wouldn't take the morning after pill. And from there, Alice chastises him and pretty much tells him that she will take the matter into her own hands. Obviously, John at first doesn't think this is a good idea, given that, his mama is older compared to the young murderer. But from there, he's like, okay, well, thanks, Ma. Okay, I'll let you take care of it. Continuity error. In the last episode, when Lydia came to talk to John, I remember in my review, I'm like, wait a minute. What time is it? Is it like late at night? Why are there people still at the diner? Why are customers still there? And even when Lydia left, John talks to the table over. Man, y'all heard what was going on. Why ain't y'all help me? So when Miss Alice comes out of the back, the restaurant is empty and John even says it's closed. The only way this could work continuity wise, if Miss Alice stayed in the back longer than her coming out the moment Lydia left, because John was just so in shock over what had happened, he didn't move from his seat, and then all the customers left because it was closing time. Okay. Alright, so this was the best scene of the episode in my opinion. The next scene, when Mike gets home, Tom comes over to see his bruh, like he said he would do in the last episode. And he said either he's going to hang out with John or check in on Tom. And I just like it because it reminds me of episode 1 where you had the Bill and Mike scene. You just got the bruhs just sitting down and kind of catching up on what's been going on. And just like the 15-second and the minute-long promo for season 3, it plays out just how you expect. Tom checks in to see if Mike's doing all right. He's going to try to keep going to the program, the rehab program, and kick his addictions. He asks how Tom's mom is doing, and hey, tell her I asked about her. And from there, Tom just came to see how he was doing and asked if he wanted to go out for dinner. And he says he's going to stay in and work because, well, going out will lead to probably having some drinks, and then having drinks will probably lead to me using, and I don't want to do that. And Tom respects that. Now, they have a brief chat about what's going on with the other bros, John, Greg, and Bill. But more to the point, Mike is like, hey, do you want something to drink? Oh, I'll just take water. No, I got some wine. And he's like, wait, but you just told me that drinking can be a trigger for usage, but you have alcohol at your place. Yeah, to prove how strong I am. But that's the whole point. If you don't have alcohol around, that forces you to leave to get some, which gives you time to think, which I really like how this conversation was played out. And from there, Mike kind of dismisses it, and he says he'll give Tom a drink anyway. But from there, they talk a bit about the whole situation of rehab, how he name drops Natalie, and Tom is like, wait, Natalie, like Bill's Natalie? He's like, yeah, she's one of the workers there at the center, and she's been, talking with me over the weekend. And the first thing Tom says is, don't sleep with her. You know how Bill feels about her. And Mike again says what I've been saying the whole time. Fuck Bill. He's married. What should it matter to him? Also, Tom, I think, acted like he didn't know that Natalie worked at the center, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure Natalie told Mike that, yeah, Tom works at the hospital, and I know Tom because, I work at this center. Continuity to have me kind of scratching my head. But regardless, he jokes that, there's no way the marriage is going to last longer than 2 weeks tops. And then from there, we go over to the next scene where Regina and Pam come over to Bill's. Bill is sitting on the couch. He's worse for wear, dealing with his mother-in-law, Hilda. And as soon as Pam gets in, Bill's like, what are you doing here? Well, I came to talk to Regina's mom, say hi. Obviously, Bill doesn't want to hear. And I mean, given how their encounter went earlier that day, I can definitely see why. I mean, you literally came into this man's home to start some shit, and now you nonchalantly come in. But the funny thing is, as the scene plays out, when Hilda comes out the back, greets Pam and invites her to stay, but Bill's like, no, she can't stay. Food goes right to her forehead. Oh yeah, and yeah, I gotta go, just like Bill's hairline. And I was like, wait a minute. I understand what's going on. I feel like maybe I got this reference in season 1 or 2, but it's just now hitting me again. But is this supposed to be like a parody of Martin, where Bill is Martin, who's dating the friend of Pam, who's kind of an antagonist of Martin, and instead of Gina, it's Regina, and it's like, hey, I got this girl that I love, but then she comes with the baggage that is her friend, who is a pain in my ass. So I was like, oh wait, is this a nod to Martin? Because if it is, that's awesome. So yeah, after Bill and Pam kind of grill each other a bit more, I'm here waiting on Regina to give me some grandbabies. No, Bill, I don't think he can have, I don't know if he can have kids or anything like that. And, he's thin, no meat on his bones and whatnot. So again, the shade is thrown, but eventually Pam says she has to go. So, at the core, it takes a little while for Hilda to understand that, she needs to go to the other room to give privacy to Bill and Regina so they can talk. More insults ensue about how thin the walls are. I mean, you can even hear him go to the bathroom earlier. And hell, I think even Bill kind of stood his ground against all three women about how you going to just talk about my home and, you're going to disrespect me and the home I paid for. And I'm like, yeah, finally, you said that. So anyway, Regina and Bill talk. Here's the thing, though. How much of this is actually Regina, and how much of this is actually Regina implementing the plan that Pam suggested in the last episode to have this whole mother-in-law thing be a test for Bill? I just feel like this is going to blow up in somebody's face sooner than later. But essentially, Bill tries to, communicate why having, his mother-in-law live with them wouldn't work. Number one, this is a small living space. It's really not made for 3 people. On top of that, this is your mother. Like, we literally just got married. Yet it didn't seem like Regina was hearing Bill. It felt like she was challenging him the entire time. Like, hey, this is my mother. Oh yeah, that's right, Mom. We don't want you to leave. And, oh, guess what? I mean, hey, you work from home, so it's like, no, she's like, oh, she can cook and she can clean, but while you're at work, but yeah, I work from home. Oh, well, you can use that time to get to know her. It's like getting to know my mother, who I'm really a lot like, will be like learning how to live with me as we stay married, that kind of thing. It's like, well, I don't want to get to know her. It's like, oh, so it's like that. So it felt like, this entire conversation, if you want to call it that, was literally Bill walking in a field of landmines where one wrong step could cause an explosion. And that was pretty much about it. So then we go over to the next scene. I believe this is like the bar or club that Lydia works at. Alice and John roll up, and to be honest, I'm a bit surprised John came because Alice said she would handle this herself, but okay. So they show up and talk to Lydia, who's cleaning up, and pretty much she's confronted about the whole situation, about whether or not she had unprotected sex with her son. It's like, yeah, you knew that. I didn't know it was going to be unprotected. Okay, as much as I give credit to Miss Alice for standing up for her son and whatnot, I still blame her for orchestrating this entire thing. I really do. Literally, you allowed a killer. Look, I get it. I feel like there might be more to this story we don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, Valerie in season 1, where it's like, oh wow, this girl's emotionally unstable. But then towards the end of the season, it's like, yeah, I was actually abused by previous lovers too. And it's like, what? No, that's sad. And then with Lydia, it's like, yeah, I killed my ex. But it's like, okay, but I mean, is it because he abused you? Did he hit you? Was he, did he threaten, somebody like your parents, your loved ones or something? I get that this is a comedy, but damn, she a damn killer. So, we go to Alice just trying to force her to take the morning after pill. I feel like there's some morality in there that might be put into question. However, I still don't like the fact that Lydia purposefully had sex with John to get pregnant by him. There's a lot of finger pointing to be done in this moment, but at the same time, I mean, even Lydia tried to say, wait, no, you really don't want me to have this baby? Child, you just had sex this morning, ain't no baby. Well, technically when the sperm's like, I love how Miss Alice put a stop to that. And again, like I said in my last reviews, with abortion being a huge thing in terms of a major talking point of news outlets, based off that leaked draft of a law or something for the Supreme Court, it's just one of those things where, man, Tyler Perry writing tells the future. But, John really doesn't have much of a stance in this because, like his mama said, shut the hell up, boy, let me handle this. So, I mean, she tries to have a conversation with Lydia in that he's broke, he ain't got no job, which we know isn't true because he has a sandwich shop, but he's not really husband/father material. Something that I wish would have been brought up is John saying to Lydia, well, I never knew my father, so I don't really even know how to be a father. It's just one of those things that I felt would have been a great character moment, but I feel like that would have been undercut with Lydia's inability to truly understand what John's saying, because even Miss Al's like, oh shit, she is crazy. And John's like, I told you. So from there, the conversation goes to, I'm too young to be a grandmother, so you better take this pill. So essentially, Lydia tries to, make it seem like they didn't have raw sex, even though they did. And, so we don't see what really happens next. But essentially, Alice tells John to get the hell out of there because it's about to get ugly up in here. So, he leaves. So, maybe we'll find out what happens in the next episode. But we don't know if she did take the morning after pill. So, we'll have to wait and find out. Alright, so the final scene of the episode, the final 4 or 5 minutes, we go back to Greg and Darla's dinner date at Tom's apartment. And the conversation kind of comedically shifts over to, Greg not being confident that Darla could, take him down, given her small stature compared to his. Even though she warns him, like, hey, I'm a police officer, I'm trained. So, it's one of those come at me, bro moments. Yeah, right before that, the scene cut to them. She mentioned how her feet were killing her and asked if he could take her shoes off. So that was the setup for what was about to come. And, they both stand up. And it was literally a come at me, bro. So Greg, tries to rush her, and then he gets flipped for his trouble. And yeah, his pride's on the ground. So Darla is about to leave, and this is the part where I really want to get some feedback on this. Darla's trying to leave, but Greg, stops her just because he wanted to talk more due to his curiosity about potentially having sex with Darla. Given the fact that this is follow-up from the last episode where he was talking with Tom and then eventually Darla in regards to being uncertain if, what it would mean for him to entertain the idea of getting to know, dating, or having sex with a trans person. Like, what would that make him? And as a result, I kind of want to table that part of the discussion, because my concern with Greg, and this is just my opinion here, I don't think he knows how to take no for an answer. And that's the one thing I've noticed since he first, he and Darla first started, having these dates or getting to know each other. Every time for the most part, if I'm not mistaken, every time Darla has made it clear, I'm not ready to get to this, base yet, or I think we should just take it slow. I mean, he's curious, and she pretty much said was like, hey, curiosity kills the cat. Let's just take things slow. But he just wants to get to the, what if we had sex and, I felt like I didn't like it or anything. It's just one of those things where it's like, she's made it clear her boundaries. You continually try to overstep said boundaries, hence why you found out she is a trans woman, because you were feeling her up and she was like, hey, no. And then, that's how you found out what you found out. In this situation, Darla is making it clear. Let's take it slow. But you just want to go right from, let's talk, go to dinner to, yeah, I want to try sex. Huh? I mean, I feel like, just like with the Regina and Bill, and then the Lydia and John, I mean, these conversations is like there's always one party that doesn't seem to hear when the other person is clearly stating how they feel about something. I mean, what happened to consent and no means no? So again, Darla's like, yeah, I'm going to go. Are you sure? Are you sure? Like, he continuously presses her until, he kind of goes in for a kiss. And right as they're about to lock lips, John comes in. Oh, shit. First of all, knock. Sheesh. Secondly, that was the end of the episode. Alright, guys, but really, that's really all I had to say about this particular episode in itself. I think Control, the title, was probably more in line with Mike and whether or not he can control his urges to, use and feed his addiction. And yeah, like I said, that scene between Mike and Tom was probably my favorite scene of the episode. Still curious as to what Alice did once John left, not to mention John showing up at Tom's apartment. Did John just leave his mother to handle Lydia by herself, meaning that he must have got like an Uber or something to take him over to Tom's apartment? Did the Lydia thing get settled off screen, and maybe he told his mom to drop him off at Tom's place, or perhaps he took his mom home and then went over to Tom's? I don't know. Continuity. What can you do? Yeah, well, like I said, I really want to get some thoughts on how you feel about the whole Greg thing. And again, like I said, my intrigue in the storyline isn't necessarily what it means for Greg to date a trans woman. My thing is him not being able to take no for an answer. I think Darla even said, well, hey, you just got a divorce, and I mean, you're just like rushing to get into something. That's a very interesting point of view and a fact. Like, why is it that Greg just wants to, hop in bed with the first, a person he interacts with on a semi-romantic level? I mean, was he creeping while he was married? Like, I mean, it just seems like he was alone in his marriage. Like, he just wasn't fulfilled or satisfied. And based off of what Tom was saying, Greg has always been free. Again, were he and his wife swingers? I don't know. But like I said, just gotta wait for more episodes to come out and let the story unfold. So thanks so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you all in the next video.